All right, welcome, guys. We have a few weeks left at our Associate Diamond Club calls. Not getting, we're getting to the pointy end now of all of this, but great to see you all on here today. I would love to start off with Jackie's idea of a win. Who's got a win they can share with us? Who is courageous enough to unmute and share a win? Deb, go for it. Love it.
Yes, again, I've got my fourth enrollment on Sunday, which I'm just so happy about. But the beauty of these enrollments are they're reaching out to me. I'm not actually doing anything. I mean, I've been going out there, putting myself out on Facebook and being consistent and everything else, and people have been watching me. And it was really interesting. The fourth enrollment, Jane, I have been talking to her for like 2, 3 years. And it was just that one extra reel that I did on Sunday about the lavender piece soft gels of all things. And she went, Deb, I want them. And of course, I sold her the system. So the lavender piece soft gels, and the frankincense duo because she has pain. So, and she's just like gave me the best compliment saying, I've been watching you. You're a fantastic leader. I love your personality. And I really am really excited to join your team. And I went, oh my God, like that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Well, definitely not out of nowhere. It
No.
comes out of exactly what you said. It's consistency, it's persistence, it's showing up, it's letting them know that you're still that person, in their life. So, Jackie's nodding hard, I know, because after 11 years, I think it is for Jackie, there are people that we've connected with many years back in the journey, and they just sort of keep seeing you doing it. And, we've actually had a whole bunch of people in this last little while, but I want to say the last probably 12 or 18 months, but in the last few months, a whole bunch of brand new people either come to us to want to start doing doTERRA as a business, or people who have been in our doTERRA team for many, many years enjoying the product but never done the business, who have reached out and said, I think it's my time to do doTERRA with you guys. Now it's like, where is it all coming from? But what I know about this is the energetics of us putting our hands firmly on the steering wheel and really driving our doTERRA business gives permission for others to do the same. And it's amazing how big that happens. Who else has got a win they'd like to share before we move on? Oh, Michelle. Well, she was hands up. I think you like wanted to be first. Go for it.
No, no, gosh, no. So
Can't hear you, Michelle. Can you lean forward a little bit more?
hang on. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm pretty knackered this week because I've been working extra, as well as my job, and I've signed up three new ladies in Diamond Club, over 100 PV, from doing workshops consistently, and how I, from what my from my purpose and passion and emotional wellness. And when I was having a workshop yesterday and Jill was along, she was up in Perth, so she came along, and it was really easy just to speak from my heart. And I'd met these ladies at an expo, and because I hadn't crowded them and I had the opportunity of having the classes there, the class sheets ready there to say, these are the classes I'm running, please feel free to put down your details with what you're drawn to. And then on the day, they already were invested, and they said they got drawn to my energy, and that's why they tapped into it. And one of the ladies said that she'd been with another oils company and that she didn't, and she'd been pressured, and she said she hadn't felt the proper community or the consistency or the actual education that I gave um, on that day. So yeah, you're now on mute.
I am. Sorry. Yeah, great. Well done. Good for you. That's just magic. I love it. All right. Now, I've got a question for you. Put a number one in the chat if you were on the call last week. Hopefully, everybody should be no ones. It should be all ones. How many of you put a number two in the chat if you tried and did the homework from last week's call from the Mel Robbins interview with Dr. Doty, the neuroscientist? Did you try that? Gemma half tried it. Is that what it is? 0.5? Or if I ask for a two, is 0.5 a quarter? You quarter tried it. Um, oh, Jackie did. I like it. Okay, so we've got a few that have looked at it, and 22 is a stutter. I like it. So for those who tried it, I'd love you to unmute and tell us, that you gave it a go. What have you experienced, if you can? Can anyone share with us what that experience was like? What about you, Jai?
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
It's really worked in terms of the mindset for me just to leave the block that I have felt for a long time, and it um, just flow with ease and continues of the grow. And this month is the first month that I reached the PVG, the personal volume
Ah,
growth.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And four of my new customer as they place their LRP order, that hardly happen for ever for me. That they sign up the month before and then place the LRP order over 100 PV. So that's a big milestone for me to boost my confidence that okay, this how I gonna grow and the model that I
Yeah.
will follow.
Awesome. I love it. I'm so excited for you.
Thank
Jackie, you just
you.
unmuted because Jai's in your team, right?
She is. It's just been such a joy to watch. Jai is she's found her secret sauce, which is just being herself. Just being herself, this beautiful, giving, graceful, passionate carer. And she is just out there showing very naturally and this is how Jai has always lived. And she is out there showing it, just being herself, and people are flocking to her. And it's a joy. Big
Yeah.
things are coming. Big things.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Um,
Jackie.
Thanks, Jai. I'm so excited for Jai. I think I had Jai in one of the mentor groups years ago, whether it was
You
Discovery
did.
or Premier, like one of those things pre-Premier Club years ago. And we've just had a beautiful connection. She's not in our tree, but we always kind of catch up at all the events at leadership and convention and all the things. And she's so wonderful. I love it when good things happen to good people. So she deserves every bit of success she's getting. So yeah, amazing. She's been consistent, and then Associate Diamond Club has clearly been something that I think it was Jai who put in the chat that she's kind of a little sad that it's coming to an end because it's really hitting the mark for her, which has been awesome. All
Yes.
right. Anyone else that would like to share on the homework? Did you do it? Or who hasn't seen the video? Who hasn't seen the content from last week? Do we need a kind of, so Deborah has not seen it. Put number 3 in the chat if you didn't see the neuroscientist little video we shared last week in the call live, and I've put it back into the chat today for us to watch that. No, number 3. There's a couple. So most have seen it. Okay, but not taken action with it. It seems like then. So this is a big thing for us to really dive into. Jackie, do you want to add any commentary in around um, around how important and how critical it is that you have, you hold an intention and then you give it energy for a shift and change to come into your life and your business.
Well, it's the way we grow. It's the way things bubble. If we don't have something to hook into, to wake up to hold us through, it's very hard to create a flow and emotion and a work track for the day, inspiration for the month, and an actual something to run to when it comes to those last 48 hours in your business. So I put out for a builder. I got one who just enrolled organically. Again, talking about things circling for a couple of years. I have sent so many link generators, I've lost count. I don't even know, I haven't even looked at which link generator she actually clicked on to enroll. But she enrolled, and that was my intention, to find a young gun builder, That was what I wrote down after last week. And it's about the vision. Yes, you have it, but you must see it every day. You must walk it. So that young gun builder, who is it? What fun am I going to have? What am I going to, how are we going to create in the future? You set up these little stories and these little fairy tales and look at it like your childlike imagination. So we were so great at creating those stories as when we were younger. So if you haven't delved into vision, just write down tonight the story at the end of the year. How are you celebrating New Year's Eve 2025 with your friends and your family, but also your team? Are you jumping on a call before you all go out to parties and celebrating a rank, celebrating lots of power of threes, celebrating X amount of what is it? What is it that is that vision, that funness, and then extend it out to leadership? What is it? Do you want to come to leadership? Now, that's a good thing. We're going to do a Q&A a little bit later on tonight. Is your vision to actually come to leadership as an elite or above leader? What does that look like? What are you wearing? How are you walking into that room? How are we all, Paul and I, celebrating you when we see you at leadership? Create that story, create that vision, write it down as you did when we were young children. And then every day pull it out, because we know when we focus our attention and we give it life, everything builds. Everything builds. We know if we give negativity energy, that builds. So let's turn it to the positive. We've got so many opportunities for greatness at the moment. Let's look at little incremental steps every day to step you more into that vision. Is it about going and buying, like, you know me, everyone knows me, I love clothes. So is it about buying your I'm walking the stage at leadership outfit tomorrow? And then reverse engineer from there. Or what is it? Or is it about buying your gifts for your downline, because you're going to walk in not just as an elite leader, you're going to walk into maybe leadership as a premier leader. Okay. And you've got 2 elites coming with you. What are your presents for your elites at leadership? Let's go and buy those now. Let's create the vision. If you don't have a vision board, I find that it helps us even anchor more specifically into that. So pop it screensaver on your PC, on your phone, and set up little mini goals around that screensaver. What is important to you every week? So you've achieved one thing, you're moving yourself to the next level on the next week. And if we have those little stepping stones, we know that little stepping stone gives us that momentum, that walk, that momentum to what's called a walk, a half jog and a half run. And then when we keep that momentum going, we're into a jog and a sprint to our goals. Probably went off track there, Paul. Sorry about that.
No, love it. You got on one. I love it when leaders get on one. It's so the thing that I loved particularly about this, Vanessa and I have spent a lot of time at different, we've read a lot, we've listened to a lot, we've learned a lot, we've attended a lot of conferences, we've gone to week-long, kind of retreats, learning about this concept of interacting with the quantum field to be able to attract what we want. And we've been wired up. We've had our brain waves and our heart waves measured for, like, during these experiences. We've done all the stuff, because it's kind of part of the DNA of who we are. It's as leaders in doTERRA and our business and our lives and our parenting with our kids. It's, we want to demonstrate that you can have this amazing, abundant life in all of the richness that is, the abundance in relationships, abundance in quality of food that we eat, abundance of how we live, abundance of where we can travel, abundance of what we can wear, abundance of the connections we have, and abundance of the business, and even the finances and the revenue and the money and the wealth that we can attract. Because we know that kind of, that currency that we use called money, really gives you an opportunity to have far more choice and agency over your life and how you spend it, and also how you can do good with it, right? So the thing that I loved so much about learning this approach from Dr. Doty was that anybody who's got zero experience with any of this and no education and no neuroscience understanding or background can actually do this and start to impact the experience that you're having on a day-to-day basis in your life and in your business with doTERRA. So if you remember what he talked about, the whole concept is starting with having an intention, a clear intention. Now, at the end of his clip, he does warn us. He says, start small. Start with something that's meaningful, but you can believe that it's possible. So, don't go for like, I'm elite now, but I want to be presidential diamond on the 30th of November, 2025, but I've only got half an hour a day or so that I can do doTERRA like that. Probably a little unrealistic. But if you said, could I enroll 5 people more this month, or if could I get to elite by the end of the month, or could I be premier before leadership, or something like that, in the next 4 or 5 months, get to leadership and be there as a premier. I think that's eminently doable for anybody who hasn't even started yet, who started tomorrow.
Absolutely.
No problem
Yeah.
at all. Like, no brainer. Or if you're already premier, could I be silver by then, or could I be silver by June at convention, something like that. And what his whole process is to work out what's that intention, and then the physical act of taking a pen and writing it down, not on a computer screen or on a phone, but he said bringing it into the reality, using your body to create it, where it's still physically available and seeable where you are, right? Wherever you are. So I really want you guys to do this because I'm telling you now, it will make a difference. It absolutely makes a difference if you do it. Write it down and then stick it in places where you can see it all the time. So on your fridge, on your sun visor of your car as you flip it down, on your phone screensaver if you want, on the mirror in your bathroom, because how many times do you look at yourself in the mirror, in all honesty, either in your dressing room, like, before you walk out the house, or, who's got a mirror by the front of the house somewhere where they look at quickly before they walk out the door, or you got one in the bathroom. Jackie's got one behind her there, right? We all do it. Right, we're human. We want to make sure we actually haven't got, toilet paper sticking out of our kind of jeans or something as we walk out the house or whatever it is, right? So we've got to we got to check everything's okay, right? We know nothing's going to change. We're not going to look in the mirror and magically look actually better to ourselves, maybe, but maybe that's something else we can have an intention around working on. But the concept is to bring it into physical reality. And then what he said was the process that we've got to undergo every single day and spend just a couple of minutes several times a day is to look at what the intention is that you wrote down. Look at that piece of paper that you've written it down on. Read it silently to yourself, then read it aloud to yourself, and then take a quiet moment, whatever that means for you, whether that means meditating on it or praying on it or whatever it is that you do, however you kind of get quiet and get still and just really focus in deeply on something, whatever that looks like for you, doing that exercise and doing it several times a day brings the likelihood of that event closer to you. But we're engaging hardcore neuroscience for this to work. And what he talked about is that there's a part of our brain called the default mode network. And going through that process of holding that intention clearly, I'm going to paraphrase his whole clip probably for you quickly here, but it's important work, guys, because one of the things that frustrates me as a leader in this business is when people say doTERRA doesn't work or network marketing doesn't work or the business doesn't work. And it's like, yeah, if you don't work, you're right. It won't. And part of work is called network marketing, not net lay down and do nothing marketing, right? You actually have to show up and you've got to grow and change and evolve, right? And be the best version of yourself. That's what's required if you want a different result. If you keep putting the same inputs in, it is impossible for you to get a different output coming out the other side, right? But when we grow and change, when we do something just that little bit different, when new inputs come in, new outcomes are possible. So that's why I'm kind of on one with you guys. I got the juice from you, Jackie. You gave it to me. So,
We kind of talked about we're going to go this way.
well, it's mindset, right? I talked about November being mindset month, like this is the most powerful part of what we do. We've given you a lot in the last couple of months of the what and the how to do this business. But Lisa, I'm just going to mute you. But the mindset piece is what controls it all. Like that's what determines whether or not the what and the how that you've learned is going to be leveraged really, really well, or you're just going to get minimal gains because you know a little bit better what to say and a little bit better how often to do it and those kinds of things. So, doing this practice every day, what it's designed to do is embed in this part of our brain, the default mode network. It really embed this into our subconscious so it's in there, right? This concept that we can actually achieve or have this intention that we've been holding on to. And as we do it, we've got to be mindful because what we've been doing is we've been using the default mode network for a long time negatively. We've been using it the wrong way because when we say things like nothing good happens to me, or gee, doTERRA is hard for me, or I wonder if anyone's going to show up to my class, or gee, should I put a class on? I wonder if anyone will come. What you're really doing is you're embedding into your default mode network and attracting the outcome of a negative result, right? So as we do that and we kind of bury this deep, 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 deep into ourselves that I'm not good enough or I can't or it's hard or it's difficult or whatever the negative intention is, and sometimes we don't even do it on purpose. We're just kind of, you know, being human, but we're leaning into the negative all of the time and we're programming our brain for that's the experience that we believe that is likely, and therefore the other parts of the network, once it's embedded, the intention's embedded into our subconscious over and over again, what happens is the second part, the task positive network, takes over. And that task positive network is made up of three areas: the salience network, which basically is the part that is aware that this is of an importance for you. Salience means importance. It means it matters to you, right? So it matters to you to succeed in your doTERRA business, but you're feeding in negativity like, oh, no one's going to come to my class. No one's going to enroll. So it matters that you're doing doTERRA because you want it to work, but you're feeding in a negative message or a non-positive one at least. And then, you've embedded it enough that your task positive network recognize that this must be important to this person. Like they're thinking about it all the time. And then it activates after that the attention network. And what happens is then you start to, subconsciously or even unconsciously, you're out there looking for the right environment, the right experiences, the right set of circumstances to back up the intention that you force fed into your subconscious through the default mode network. So if it's been a negative one, your attention network starts looking out and seeking for experiences that support the concept of you not winning, of things not working out for you. And then you wonder why it's like, gee, sometimes why is it one step forward, two steps back sometimes for me? I'm putting all this effort in, I'm doing the things. I've been showing up to the calls, I've been listening. And then the executive control network takes over, and that's the one that actually starts to really make it happen. And what you would probably call manifesting, where it's actually manifest, it's become real, and you're experiencing it, right? So that's the process we go through, but we get to control that from the other side if we actually start with a really, really positive kind of intention that we want to hold, okay, and start practicing this. So write it down. Read it silently to yourself, read it aloud to yourself, go quiet, get introspective, and really focus on what it is that you want. I'm doing this too every day. And then it doesn't shock me one bit when things happen to me, like a new builder shows up and says, Paul, I've been watching for 9 years. I've just sold my business after 16 years. I'm ready to fly. I want to do this full time. I've been researching Eric Worre. I want to do his 90-day Go Fast program with you. And I want you to, like, these are the kind of conversations I'm having. And I'm not shocked even one bit because I'm attracting it, right? I know it's coming. This is really, really critical if you want to up-level your experience and have a quantum leap forward in what you're having and seeing in your doTERRA business. So,
Well, can we give everyone a couple of minutes to actually write down their
their
intention
intention,
for
absolutely.
the 31st of December 2025, their celebration with their friends and family, but their major celebration milestone with their doTERRA team and their business?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take that moment if you can. So if you're driving, like Ty and Stacey are right now, you're going to have to probably use the phone and tap something in. But what's the intention? G'day, Ty. Good to see you, man. Um,
And you don't have to share it in the comments. We'd love to read it, but just spend that a moment or so now just writing it down.
Carol, you're a
And then
poet and you
when you've
didn't.
got it, just close your eyes and breathe into it and grab an
Totally.
anchor oil.
Yeah, absolutely. Carol's a poet and didn't know it. Short and sweet. I want to leap.
I love it.
I love it too.
What's the date, Carol? When are we celebrating you, hun? No, no, no. When? Not soon.
Oh, Deb just made a really, really kind of cool one there. I like that.
End of October 25. We've got to be really specific because that could be next November.
Yep, I agree completely. The universe doesn't know. I mean, if you think about how long the universe has existed, whatever
Yeah.
that is, I don't even know what the number is, but it's going to be millions of years because we can date things back that far already, right? Carbon dating and all this kind of stuff. Millions of years. Do you think this November or next November to the universe is like consequential? It probably feels like 1 second for the universe. It's like, who cares? This November, next November, whatever. Like a decade for the universe is nothing. But are you prepared to wait that long? I'm not. So for me, it's got to be specific. You've got to nail it like to the day, the month, the year, everything.
Yes, Deb, you are
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there.
love it.
Deb's about to consolidate her elite rank from last month very soon.
Too much dancing celebration and you fractured your foot, Tracy. Well, you know what? There's an oil for that.
I have a good blend.
And I'll tell you a quick story. I went for an x-ray today and they had no notes. They had no record of me even coming into the hospital. Couldn't find me at all. Asked if I'd come in under a different name, different hospital number. But when they looked at the first x-ray and this one here, they couldn't get over the difference in the healing in 12 days. And I said, I've been taking Metapower. So Tara's Metapower, doubled up on it and using my oils.
It's
Oh,
incredible for fractures. My dad, 80, nearly 88, healed 3 fractured ribs in 3 weeks with MetaPower Advantage.
Yeah.
Just remarkable.
Mm,
Well
thank you.
done, you. We
I
need to
like
know
this
your
one.
healing story, Tracy, I think.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we got a whole section coming up on that, and I think we're going to
Yeah.
highlight some of these stories. So we're going to prep Tracy for this one, but Tracy, you better be prepared, girl, because we're going to call on you in a couple of
yeah,
minutes.
okay. I don't mind.
Yeah. And Stacey's is I'm silver by December 2025 and have a new keen, fun impact partner on board. So you have the new impact partner on board already, or is coming? You're coming. You can feel it. I like it. And Ty
Hello.
wants premiere by leadership at 2026, so that's February. And celebrating 2 elites there. Lisa, get 4 people on LRP by 31st of December, 4 new people. I love that. That's something really like that's something immediate that you could hold an intention for every day. And here's how it really works. Let's take that one of Lisa's. I really love this. If she's got that intention and she's got that written down and she reads it silently to herself and then she reads it out loud to herself, what happens is because it's top of mind, it kind of starts to annoy you a little bit. Like each day, there's this little nudge of this thing that you know that you want to get done that isn't getting done and it's not done yet. So it's like, oh, I've got to do something. I've got to change something. So what happens is there's this kind of inertia we feel. We don't feel comfortable sitting in the same spot. We feel like we need to, something's getting a little aggravated, right? In a good way. So we start thinking about it more and go, okay, LRP, 4 LRPs, but 4 LRPs by end of December, I've got about a month and a half. How can I get 40 people on LRP? What can I do? Well, I can start talking about it. I can invite people to wellness consult. So what happens is action steps fall out of that inertia. They fall out of that kind of feeling of like, this higher awareness that you have about this intention that you want to achieve, and action steps fall out. And then, even if you don't know what actions to take, questions fall out of that, which are like, I better call my leader, Jackie. I better call Paul. I better call Tracy. I better call, Stacey. I better ring them up and see what I can do to get these 4 people LRP. So we start to actually change the inputs, right? And when we change the inputs, we can get different outcomes. So that's what we've got to do. I love that one, Lisa. I want to solidify still with Power 3 Level 2, second level boost, and help 2 leaders in my team hit Elite and Premier by 31st December 2025. Love it, Elise.
Easy,
Great.
love it.
And you've got a couple that are really on the march for that. So I know who you're talking about. So this is cool. Powerful stuff, guys. This is what we're going to do. So we're going to lean more into mindset stuff as this month kind of unpacks the rest of it. But I really wanted to kind of just give it a little bit more airtime because I know we did that quite quickly last week, this concept. But if you can start to practice this, it's the personal development stuff that is going to be the largest determining factor in your success with your doTERRA business, right? The what and the how and the training and the what to do and the how to do it and how often to do it and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of all semantics, and they become relatively insignificant in the face of a massive purpose. And when you really understand why you want to do something and start making the personal changes in you to become the version of you that allows you to be able to deserve that kind of an outcome that you're wanting, that's when all the who and the what and the how starts to kind of, line up and be meaningful. But in the meantime, if you stay the same in your inner world, your outer world's going to keep reflecting the same. Okay. And I'm watching the people that I'm seeing in this program actually who have been taking action. And you know what's really funny? I wish we had taken some screenshots of these calls at the start, because I think I have got a couple, because some of you actually look different. You look younger, you look more vibrant, you look more you look like a different person. So something has happened for some of you. Anyways, I'll leave you with that thought. Jackie's got an exercise for us to go kind of run now for this second half of the call, but we're really keen to hear from you guys. So I'll give it to you, Jackie.
We thought we would open it up to a Q&A. So we are very close to the end of this season of ADC, and fingers crossed we may have some exciting news about ADC in 2026 for you very, very soon. But we know a lot of you have been already achieved your goals, and we're now reset for the second half of the program and storming to the end of the year. But some of you may still be a little bit, because of the season that you're in, a little bit slow to start, or after a massive month of hitting goals and hitting big ranks, sometimes there is a bit of a lull afterwards. You're a little bit like, oh, and you haven't got your mojo back again. So Paul and I, we've been around for a while now, and we have, I think, anything you throw at us, we've been there and done it. So it is your opportunity right now to pick the brains of an incredible founder of doTERRA Australia and New Zealand, Paul Ovens, and myself. So please.
Incredible Blue Diamond legend extraordinaire, fashionista, and all-round wicked health educator. She probably knows more about our product than virtually anybody in this market, I think.
And
In Jackie
if you
Isles.
do have any, thank you. If you do have any product questions, please, that is my passion. So go for it. Unmute yourselves or pop your questions in the chat box. We're here for you. It's our time.
Or just unmute and go for it, guys. Your time.
Can I ask a question of Paul, or maybe it's more for you, Jackie, given your health background?
Yes, Lisa.
It could be hard for me at the moment. What oils or what supplements could support someone who may need cancer treatment?
Okay, now that is a very, very nuanced question to ask.
Sorry. And then it's encouraging that person to start taking these supplements or oils to help support them through this journey.
Thank you. I love that question, Lisa. And just for all of us on the call, we need to remind ourselves that we do not diagnose and we do not treat medical conditions. doTERRA is a beautiful wellness support that brings our bodies back into balance and homeostasis. So is this person coming from a health background or not a healthy background?
They've had some health issues, or they've got existing underlying health issues as well.
Okay, but they're not using doTERRA or being on
No.
they're not like into wellness, health and well-being,
No.
being on this journey. So
No.
we know the beautiful power of frankincense. So that would be a wonderful one for us to look at. DDR prime for cellular health. I would certainly look at lifelong vitality. Okay, and I would possibly look at copaiba is a wonderful oil as well, again, for just general cell support and well-being. I love the Advantage because, again, that mitochondrial and that cell support. And then we would look at working very, very closely with their healthcare professionals. And this is where we're so lucky, everyone. So lucky that all of bar the proprietary blends, all of our top 10 oils are TGA approved. All of our supplements are TGA approved. Okay, we can pull information about the Frankie Jewel caps in the States. So I would arm all of that material to healthcare professionals and be very, very mindful of what treatment is going to occur. So whether that's radiation, whether that's chemotherapy, we often are advised for most treatments, herbal treatments, so I can put a blanket rule to stop everything whilst people are going through chemo. You can support either side, but lean very much in. There's protocols pre and post-op, beautiful symphony of the cells, aroma touch. So that would be some generalized things that are very supportive to healthy cells and supporting the die-off on unhealthy cells. And then it would probably be a more personalized conversation that we could have, not on this call.
No, appreciate that. Thank you, Jackie.
That's okay.
I will say, Lisa, we've got to be mindful, right? Because we have rules about being able to, like recommend things and stuff like that. And given that we as wellness advocates have the potential to be rewarded for someone purchasing something, okay? So that's where the rules lie. But one thing that we are allowed to do is we are allowed to dig up research and share research. And I do a lot of that. When someone says to me, do you have anything for ... I go, let me show you what I can find, let me give you the information. And then they make an informed decision for themselves, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that I want to kind of point you guys to, I don't know if any of you guys use a tool for this or not, but I'm all about in this business. My number one word for 2025, the thing that I spend every minute really thinking about, and I dream about it and then wake up and go, okay, I've got to start work because I've been dreaming of this word and all the work that goes around it. Jackie probably knows what it is. It's duplication. If it doesn't duplicate, we should not do it in this space. So when we start to become super specific about kinds of things that only we can share or only we know or anything like that, it kills the business opportunity because people start looking at it and going, I can't do what you can do, so I'm not going to be doing it with you. They make the decision for themselves. So thinking of that, how do I find what I need when it comes to the answers to these questions? Like there's another one in here about thyroid, right? I use that app called EOE Books. Right? It's 0 spaces when you search for it. I'll type it in the chat, EOE Books, and that stands for Essentials of the Earth. This app is, I think, the most functional, the best one that I've seen ever, better than Modern Essentials app even, has more information, a great search thing. You can search by health concern, you can search by oil or supplement or product and learn about the products. If you want to learn more about the products themselves, you can learn there. If you want to learn about the health concern, you can learn about that there. And it also offers up suggested protocols for people. So particularly when people have got their new oils and it's like, okay, I've got the 10 oils now. What are these for? How am I going to use these? When am I going to get benefit from them? I show them how I use that app. And one of the functionalities of it is that you can search by the health concern, and then there's a little oil dropper, and you press on that, and it tells you which oils to use and how often to use it, and 1 drop or 4 drops or whatever it is. And I just think that's the most amazing thing for those people who are new to it, as well as us, to be able to answer kind of questions. And I don't really answer the question. I just say, this is how I find everything I need to know. This is how I've learned what I need to know about how to take care of my health naturally with my essential oils. And then I guide them to that. And then they've got the tool. And what's good about this? Well, it protects my time. I don't have people, once they've learned to use the app, it's called EOE Books. It's above in the chat there if you want to look up a little further. I've written it down. And people start looking at it for themselves, and they start using more essential oils, and they start solving problems for themselves. And that's where the real power of this is. But it wins my time back, because I don't have to answer that question or every next little health question that comes up for that person. They know where to go. So use these tools that we have to be able to win our time back, but also empower other people to take action themselves and to understand what the options they are that they have in front of them with all these natural solutions.
Absolutely. I love that, Paul. And even if you're using apps like ChatGPT, you can type in some and ask for the most latest research around natural medicine supporting whatever it is. And all of that information will come up for your customer to be empowered to help themselves. And when we're looking at, we don't need this is my background, this is my jam. But if you just ask someone, you don't need to have the background that I have, background that Adam has, for example, Vanessa Jean, to be able to support people back to their feeling of best health within wherever they're sitting right now. So how does that make you feel? Okay, you've got ABC diagnosis. Well, how does that make you feel? What are the things that are challenges for you at the moment? Are you worried into the night and not sleeping? Are you feeling like you're not digesting your food well because of stress? Are you, and this is where if you open the Live Guide and go through look at the pyramid, those guides and those prompts are there anyway. And we can support anyone through anything, just really with that wellness pyramid and following doTERRA's way.
Yeah. Yep. Jane asked, do I share screenshots of that? Absolutely. All the time. Yeah. Someone who might not have the app, who might be brand new or something like that, and says, I've got a headache, what can I use out of my top 10 kit? Now, we have oils in the top 10 kit that are TGA registered as natural medicines that we're allowed to make the claim of that it helps with headache. So, starting to understand this stuff and the power of it, I could make a post about that if I wanted to and say, we can use peppermint for that. It's a listing with an approved claim that we can make. But we've got to make sure that we're in the spectrum of what the allowed claims for those oils are. But just to share the information personally to people, absolutely I use that 100%. This is known information. This is not, I'm not running around out there being irresponsible with saying that, we cure all this, that, and the other. But to be honest with you, most people don't come with those kind of questions. I think like 99% of the questions that I have ever received about using essential oils or doTERRA products have been about people just want to feel a bit better, like feel a bit more alive, sleep a bit better, get rid of some of the sort of, discomfort or pain in their bodies, deal with the common colds and flus and scrapes and, it's normal, like everyday stuff. People just want to have their general experience of life be at a higher level than what it is today. Right? So I think that that's a really helpful thing. Who else has got a question? Doesn't have to be about product based. Can be any question, business related, Associate Diamond Club related.
Can I
any kind
ask
of
a
thing.
question, Paul?
Go, Stephanie.
One of my ladies who really, really wants to build the business, sorry, her husband is just so anti the whole thing. He looks at it as a pyramid marketing and all of those really negative terms. It doesn't matter what we say to him. There's a lot of product that he could use that he would actually benefit from. And we've tried to take it from that point, but we're starting to run out of ideas. Got any ideas on how we can help get him on board? She's like he stops her from going out to actually build the business, which both of us find really hard and really frustrating. But yeah, if you've got any ideas that we could help get him on board with.
Look at Jackie's face then. She's like, is murder an option? I saw the face of Jackie and she's like, did you see her face? She's like, no, like that's unacceptable. So, I'm not suggesting that. That's not guidance, by the way, and this is recorded, so I'm not suggesting that course of action. No, look, it's a tough one. Vanessa has, and many of our team members have, with love, pimped me out to talk to the partners many times over the last 12 years. And yeah, look, it can be a challenging one for the guys. One of the things, yeah, I think Leonie, your point is a little bit maybe that's possible there. In the chat, I feel like one of the things that I've always suggested is that we don't have to have our partners on board to support us to make this work. We just have to not have them working against us, right? So, in a normal kind of scenario, it would probably be appropriate for me to be able to go to someone and say, I could go to Vanessa and go, look, you've got your things that you love doing. You like working on your garden or whatever it is, or your essential oils. I like cars. I don't particularly, but I'm just giving an example. I'd like to buy an old car and do it up. And I know it's not meaningful for you. I know I don't expect you to come and do it with me. I don't expect you to work on it with me. I don't expect you to love it. I don't expect you to do anything with it. But I would like for you to be able to support me in it as I support you in the things that you like to do. Because, we are different people, but we are in this together, and I want our lives to be joyful. I want our lives to be meaningful, and I want us to both have things in them that we get out of it. And also, when you do your thing and I don't bug you about it, that gives you some peace. And if I can do my thing and you don't have to bug me about it, then I can have some peace too. So maybe it's kind of like one of those sorts of conversations that could be tried. Someone stopping someone from going out sounds fairly extreme, so I don't know what advice I can give in that regard. But I think, getting the guys, if you have anyone in your team, Stephanie, or around you, one of the things that we've found really successful is to do events that are social and then get the men involved, bring them along to it. So it's not about doing a doTERRA thing at all. But at some point during it, then, one of the guys, and I've used this very successfully, shares why they use it, why they love it, why they work in it, whatever it might be. So that's been something that's been really successful. We actually used to have, in our early days of our team, we used to have doTERRA sundowners at our place once every few months and just invite the couples along, just like it's just a barbie. There's no meeting, there's no sharing of product, there's no class, there's none of that. And we just have a chat. And just people are connecting. And then once at some point during the night, I would always gather everyone together and say, I'd normalize it for the men. I'd say, you know what, guys, we want to welcome everyone here tonight. Thanks for coming along. We want to welcome the blokes as well. When my wife first started kind of going down this, funny, crazy essential oil thing, and then I tell my story about how, I didn't expect that it would be anything that I'm involved in, but then my story is now like this, and I love it because. And it just normalizes it for a bloke. And by the way, I've spent the whole night going around to these guys, having, meeting them, shaking hands, saying hi, hey, what do you do? Get to know them. And they just find out, well, I'm just a normal guy. So, that kind of bringing men into the community, I think is really important to do. It's easy for us to just leave this as a niche female only thing. But if you can get your partner to be not against you, that's step one. And then the general progression from there is that they often become supportive. Now, Jackie and I have seen many men start to be supportive once their women get to diamond. All the guys jump on board because all the money's coming then, right? But we want to bring them along for the ride a little earlier, and we can take steps to do that to engage them and involve them. But you've got to kind of think of it more from a man's perspective, I guess, and start to think like they do. And with the products, start doing things like if they've got a sore or something, just rub some ice blue on it. Just say, here, let me put some cream on it for you. You don't have to tell them it's doTERRA product. Just like start with stuff that they go, oh, gee, that's amazing. Oh, that feels pretty good. And you go, well, I'd love to say it's my magic touch, but it wasn't. It was the doTERRA cream, and they're like, oh, well, that actually works pretty good. And just slowly by slowly, it's kind of like, how do you eat an elephant, right? It's one bite at a time. So there you go. What else we got, guys? Any other?
Thank you very much, Paul. That was awesome.
Pleasure, Stephanie. Who else got a question that's plaguing them? I have a question on how to activate or initiate interested sharers to start doing so. So you've got someone who's kind of interested, but they're not actually started. Is that kind of the process, Ty? Is that what we're kind of asking here?
Yeah, Paul, I was writing it. I feel like there's a few people brewing, and we've got them in like an online container, and they're active, engaging.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just feel a bit blocked. Like it's this free grouping energy. I feel like I'm in, and it's like, okay, we're ready. We're ready to go here, but it's like, what's going to start the ball rolling? We've got a little competition where, like, if you do test, enroll someone, we're trying to sort of get them happening, but I feel like I need to initiate it somehow, and I'm not sure what I'm missing to really get it to start, if that makes sense.
Yep. So there's a few things that we can do when it comes to that. It's a great question. So we've got people hovering around. I'm sure Jackie's already thinking she's got answers for this one as well. I'm no doubt. Here's what I would do. If I've got someone that I kind of think is ready for sort of the sharing thing, and we've talked about it a little bit, but they sort of just haven't taken any action yet. I would be kind of looking at what's in it for them. So I'd say, look, you're already buying the stuff every month. I'd at least like to explain to you what would be involved in helping you get it for free, so you can stop paying for it with your credit card. But is that something you'd like just as an entry point? That's simple, that doesn't really demand a lot of you. That's probably leaning more on me and my ability to kind of, teach and educate people, but you kind of just leaning into, inviting people to come to things. Now, you know how to invite people to a barbecue, don't you? Yeah. So you could invite people to something else. So, kind of that real soft, easy entry point is option one, I guess. But if you've actually talked to them doing this as a business, and you've got some of those ones that you feel like could be more really active, looking for a part-time supplementary income or even a replace and multiply income potential person, a three-way call with your upline is a really powerful thing to do. So I would say, look, I want to share this with you and what this looks like. And there's someone that kind of I go to that helps me to be, that helped me to be able to see it. Now I'm getting all this success. I'm winning. I'm able to change my work life. I've got so much more balance in my life. My health's improved. Like there's so many wins from this. And I feel like maybe I just haven't done it kind of total justice just yet. If you're open, what I'd like to do is just find half an hour where I could kind of introduce you to someone that that can share a little bit of a different perspective on it. And at least that way you can make an informed decision for yourself about what this is, really like based on someone who's actually, already really succeeding in it. Is that something that you're at least open to having that info at your disposal before you make a choice for yourself as to whether or not this is for you or not? And kind of putting it in a way that it's like, it sounds dumb to not do that. All right. So it sounds like you are like a few kind of brain cells short of a full one if you choose to not go for that option, because that sounds like a really intelligent way to make decisions, to actually have the information before you and then decide. And then you could say, hey, and if it's not for you, I'm cool with that. Like totally get it. But something is nagging away at me, and I see the potential with you, and I can see how you could be amazing at this and all the good things that we could do together, how much fun we could have together. And I'd love to do that, only if you want to be doing it. But I feel like you need to understand it first before you can make a good decision for yourself about it. Would you be at least open to having a cup of coffee with me and doing that? And you can either do it yourself, go through the build guide, share that, share some things that inspire you in doTERRA. I think if I'm first sharing with people, I like to share a couple of co-impact sourcing videos that'll make people cry. That always kind of gets them to think, well, gee, this is a pretty good company. Must be pretty good. So I do those kinds of things to invite people in to take action. And then if they've sort of said, yep, okay, I'm in, and they're not taking action, then, for me, that probably doesn't really happen, because if they say they're in, I say, right, if you're going to work with me, here's what it looks like. And we start having regular calls. Stacey and Ty, you would know that because I do that with you, and I kind of give you ideas of action steps to take, and then I circle back and I say, how'd you go with it, and we start actually working with them. Jackie, what have you got in regards to that?
I love the organic sharer. So again, my background being clinical, I would go, have they had that absolute aha moment yet? Because when you have that absolute aha moment with your products, you cannot help but share. So I would go in, have a look at, okay, there's a few things here that maybe we need to just be more of a product of the product because we are just changing these sharers' lives. And then at that point, it's like, okay, I agree with everything. I would do what you were doing, Paul. But it's like, okay, let's dip our toes into sharing. How about I run a series of classes, and all you need to do is to bring those on your warm list. Let's do that warm list, and let's look at what products suit such and such and such and such, because this is the need that they have. Invite them to the class. I will run it. You will share your story and why you are here, and let's enroll them. And then from there, we will build a class for your new enrollments, being a wellness consult class, get them to have their aha moments, and then slowly duplicate from there. So that would be the action steps I would take. Very, very hands-on, very much moving them forward in a very, very simple, organic, natural way around being better in their own health and well-being and better in other and helping other people's health and well-being straight away. So you take the focus off the sharing and the more the focus on the helping people. And the absolute benefit of that is we're going to have your products and their products paid for free
And
very, very soon.
totally. And you know what I loved about what you just did there, Jackie, is that you gave the steps what the person has to do. Like, let's get you on, let's invite some people. Because do you remember last week when I talked about one of the fundamental things that's wrong or that's a big problem with network marketing is that people don't know what to do next. That's why they don't succeed. They don't know what to do next, and they don't know how often they need to do it. So what Jackie just did was take all that away. She just said, here's exactly what you have to do next. Right? And she normalized it and she made it easy. And you can even relate that if you wanted to the 3 pathways, right? So there's a pathway for the person who wants to get their oils for free. And that is a very low commitment pathway, not a lot required. Invite some people, I'll do the rest, pretty much. We'll get some part-time income rolling your way. We'll get your supplements for free. You won't be ordering those anymore. Like on your credit card, you'll be ordering them, but you won't have to pay anymore, which will be awesome. And then pathway 2 is supplement your income. So and just say, look, I'm going to do this with you, right? Until you know how to do it for yourself. So I'm not going to do it for you forever, but I'm going to do it with you. So they need to feel comfortable and safe in it. So, and sometimes we're just not having the direct conversation enough. I remember back to one of the early calls we had in Associate Diamond Club, and we had Lisa Costa with a C. Lisa K always smiles when I do that. I remember her talking about that presentation about bringing on impact partners. Does anyone remember that?
Yeah.
And she
Powerful
had,
call.
yeah, and she has these kind of like sayings that she used, which is her go-to thing. And she basically said, look, I'm doing this. I'm having amazing success. I'm earning money. I'm enjoying my life. I love it. I love to do it with you. Now, you've got choices, but just so you know, I've chosen you. I want to do this with you. You're who I'm picking. Are you up for it with me? And that is the kind of gumption that you need, right? And clear is kind and unclear is unkind, right? So when we're clear with people, we get clear answers and we understand where we stand. Like if we're not asking the question with clarity, we're being unkind to ourselves first and foremost, because we are left without a clear answer at the end of it. We don't know. So sometimes it's better to get a no by not beating around the bush and actually find out where someone really stands, and then partnering people who are ready to actually take action, because they might have a reason for just not wanting to let you down or not wanting to disappoint you or not wanting to whatever. But I'd rather not wonder. I'd rather just go find someone else, to be honest with you, because every day and week and month that we work with people who are capable but not committed, we're wasting days and weeks and months. We're going nowhere, actually. That's the cold, hard truth about this business. You're going to go round and round in circles and wake up here in 8 years from now, still elite. Now, which if you just want your products for free, that's awesome. But if you want to get to Premier and Silver and Gold and Platinum and Diamond and everything else, something's got to change. Remember, new inputs in, different outcomes possible. Same inputs in, nothing can change, right? So that's my kind of suggestion to you guys is don't be afraid that there's not thousands of sharers out there that will come and do this with you. When you raise your vibration to a different level, when you come from a different place and you're far more assertive and attractive, you will find the right people start to become into your sphere. You know, when you start holding the intention for a committed, capable, coachable, motivated, action-taking, servant, helper of other people to walk towards you as a new builder in your doTERRA business, and you start holding that intention and feeding that into your default mode network day after day after day after day, then you know your salience kind of network is going to say, this is really important for Paul. He wants a new builder in his doTERRA business. I better start looking. And then the attention network starts seeking out, oh, who might that be? Oh, I just met somebody. Oh, that girl at Pilates. Oh, it could be, oh, wow, the yoga teacher. I haven't even asked her. I haven't even talked to her about it. But it starts to seek the opportunities out, and then the executive control network takes over and action starts taking place, and you start actually having conversations, inviting people to things and talking differently and showing up differently. And then the outcome is in alignment with the intention, and that is called manifesting, you know? So that's kind of what we need to be doing if you want to find those people. It's a different, you've got to show up different, right? And don't be afraid that there are not millions of them out there. I mean, you know, what are we at? 8 odd billion people, you know, in the world, and we have so far about 2.9% of the households in Australia enrolled with a doTERRA account as a customer, not as a builder, just as a customer. So we've got 97% of people not even joined as a customer yet, and the number is lower in New Zealand if you're worried about it. So your opportunity is even greater in New Zealand as a percentage. So heaps of opportunity there. So yeah, get attracting them. Get the intention level up. If you're in this business, I think one of the number one intentions that you need to have, and you can have multiple intentions at once, right, guys? You don't have to just have one. Dr. Doty didn't say, yeah, you get one shot, guys. Pick your intention carefully because you never get another one. It's your winning lotto ticket. It's as many as you want, right? But you've got to put the effort and energy into them every day. And for me, one of the ones that I absolutely believe you all need to be having is, and why we set it up at the start of this Associate Diamond Club program, is get to elite in the program and build a new elite for yourself. Attract and help someone new to elite. If you're already elite, the goal was get to Premier and bring on a new elite still, right? That's the name of the game. So that intention to bring on new sharers and builders, someone on this call who know she is, I had a call with early last week, and we looked at their team and we said, you're all about one elite shy from getting to the rank you want to get to. You need one new elite. And now she's smiling and nodding at me.
Now,
that's what the gap looks like.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of people trying to get to Premier, trying to get to Silver, trying to get to Gold, and they're all about one elite shy. We looked at the numbers at the end of the month, at the finish of October, and we go, it's obvious what needs to happen here. Intention needs to be to attract one more who's going to go to elite ASAP, and then the goal takes care of itself. And then our vision starts to raise, and we don't start thinking about, like, you know, trying to get to Premier or Silver. We start to think, how do we get these elites to Premier themselves so I can be Gold, like Tracy Coulthard did last month, right? And then we start getting those Premiers, and the Premiers start to catch the vision for themselves then, and they're like, I want to get to Silver. Well, that would make someone like Tracy or Deb, who's actually got the goal for, Deb Borg has got the goal for December, that would get Deb to Platinum in December, which is what her goal is, right? This is the progression. This is the duplication steps we've got to go through, but we've got to begin it at that very outset with clarity being kindness, kind to their person and kind to yourself, right? And protecting your own sort of stance and posture in this business. Otherwise, it gets watered down and weakened by the fact that you kind of take sloppy halfway action and never really get anywhere, and we end up starting to get disappointed with ourselves and the opportunity and start to question whether we're capable and are we good enough and all that. And that's not the thing. It's not are we good enough, it's is our action clear enough, right? Long answer.
There's one more question here. Sorry,
Yeah,
Paul, one more.
take it.
So for those full times, what are the go-to tasks, the little things? until the fully fledged enthusiasm and creativity returns. Well, I've got a 4 hour and 2 minute working week, if you
Is
would
that the
like me
lull
to share.
time? Is that the lull times? Is that what that says? It means like as in you're having a lull, you're in a bit of a lull. Is that what it is, Julie? Thumbs up just went on, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, Julie. You're in a lull time. Okay, there's the question for you, Jackie. You got that one? What are the go-to tasks, little things until a fully fledged enthusiasm and creativity returns?
Okay, so are you not feeling, sorry, I don't quite do, are we
She's feeling a
looking
bit
at being
like
time
she's not full of
effective?
enthusiasm and creativity. She's in a bit of a flat spot. So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
while
Okay,
I'm in
so
the flat spot, what can I do until my energy like gets surging back to like, fifth gear again? I'm in second gear and I'm stuck.
easy. Well, let's face it, full-time working and then building your dream business, it takes energy. So I have a 4 hour and 2 minute focus on KPIs will get you to gold strategy. And it just means taking 4 hours elsewhere. And normally that's from us scrolling on social media. So all we need to do for a 4 hour and 2 minute working doTERRA week is we're going to make an impactful social media post or reel. So be very, very intentional. Now, the name of the game here is every activity, every second is intentional around your goals that you have just written and set. So making an impactful social media post or a couple of posts, don't spend any more than 60 minutes in a week on that. That could be 3 reels, for example. Respond to a message takes 5 minutes. To send a care call, voice note, or message to one customer, one potential customer, that takes 5 minutes, people. To share your oily story in real conversations, whether face-to-face or online, 15 minutes. Give yourself 15 minutes of intentional time a week. To have a coffee 101 or run a class, a must. 60-minute class a week. To listen to personal development or professional development, give yourself 25 minutes a week. To make deliveries, we don't have to. Thank you, doTERRA. To enroll someone in your back office or create a link generator, it takes 5 minutes. To serve your team very intentionally, 60 minutes a week. And that in total is 4 hours and 2 minutes a week on your doTERRA business. And that will move the dial. And that's 5 hours less. So that's 1 hour less a day on social media.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, I think in all honesty, we can find way more time than that if we want to.
Absolutely. But that's the bare minimums that will work.
Yeah, and that's the bare minimum. I mean, that's and that in all honesty, I think at that level, that 4 hours a week is probably it's a kind of it's a slow and steady approach, is what I'll be honest, is what I think, So if you wanted to do it a little quicker and feel the progression, then obviously you just pour petrol on it by adding some more hours in, right? But there's so many areas in our lives that we can peel back time if we want to. And it's just a case of what are you prioritizing for now, and do you want the change?
And I think that's it. It's the priorities on the KPIs, not on the other stuff that we waste so much time on.
Yeah. I've said this before, but I mean, when we started our doTERRA business, I love my AFL football. I just love it. I've born and raised playing it as a young boy. It's like DNA for me. And I used to watch and I used to go to games and things like that. And when we started doing doTERRA, there just wasn't time for that if I wanted our doTERRA business to really fly. And I wanted to prioritize doing this with Vanessa and making something amazing. So for 2 years, I didn't hardly ever watch a game on TV even, and I didn't go to any, none. But at the end of that 2 years, we were Presidential Diamond, and then I bought a box at the football. And I went to all the games. I took all my friends, and we had all the catering and all the stuff because we're in a different world. So it's what are you prepared to give up for a little while so that you can have the life that you say that you want? Like, do you want it bad enough to give something up and create space for it? Because the people that are successful in life, they only get the same 168 hours a week as you and me. It's how they use them, right? It's what you're putting them into, but it doesn't have to be forever. So I think that's a really important thing to do. One of the things that Jackie said to your question, Julie, about what do you do when you're in a lull spot? My answer to you in the chat is, what are you consuming right now? How many of you put a number 2 in the chat if you watched the Simon Sinek video that I put in the WhatsApp group on Friday? How many of you watched that? And when I say what are you consuming, what are you feeding yourself that affects and impacts how you feel and how you show up each day, that affects your inspiration, your motivation for things. Because if we don't take responsibility for that, like how many of you, when you eat something really crappy and you actually feel after it, you feel really crappy. And then sometimes you're at the restaurant and you make the choice and you go, you know what, I'm going to get the chicken salad or whatever. I'm going to choose the healthier thing instead of the pizza or the burger or whatever the thing is. And then you kind of go, it's not as entertaining, it's not as appetizing, doesn't sound as amazing. But then you have it and you go, I actually feel really good about that. I feel like I actually made a good choice for myself and I feel better on that, right? Well, what if we took the same approach to what we consume, not just in food or drinks, but in how we feed our mind, how we feed how we feel, right? That's one of the biggest problems that we have. We don't feed how we feel. So, this month being Mindset Month, we don't put enough effort into that at all. We need to start looking at that. Like if I'm doom scrolling, which is like I don't do on social media and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but I'll get onto YouTube occasionally. And you know what? Because YouTube knows who I am now, all I see is stuff like Simon Sinek. That's all that comes up for me. I don't get all the dribble. So I'll see stuff from him or other authors or other people. I'm like, I'm going to have a listen to that. And I was driving back from getting my car serviced and I wanted something to listen to. So I thought, yeah, I'll have another listen to Simon. I've read his book, so I've listened to his stuff. And it's like, I listened to it for 30 minutes in the car. I thought, yep, everyone should be hearing this, because everything that you want to see in your life comes from believing it first. And that was perfect. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you find the 30 minutes and watch that. And if you have watched it, find 30 minutes and watch it again, because it needs to be fed and embedded into the default mode network, right? So we can't just watch things once and be silver bullet change for life. But yeah, do that, Julie. It would be my advice. Look at what you're consuming. And you can't watch that. It's just impossible to be a half positive person and watch that and not feel at the end of it like, okay, I'm impacted. But go, Julie, you've unmuted. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, just amazing. I really appreciate both of your input on that. I just feel like sometimes, like I'm a real all-in person, and so I can go all in 100% and be all the things flying. But sometimes I have a lot of plates that I'm spinning, and so sometimes if things come up, I wasn't quite clear on what are the things that I can definitely do on a week where I don't have all of the enthusiasm and effort I usually have for that plate. That makes sense? So that was really helpful. 4 hours was really helpful for me because I am an all-in person and I usually give way more time. So for me to have a base was really, really helpful for me.
Love it.
So that 4 hours, sorry, Paul.
No, go.
No, that 4 hours is based. I think someone put about pipes. Those 4 hours was based on the activities around your pipes. Okay. And I would add probably an R in there. So IPers, always think recruiting. So when you're doing that one-on-one, or when you're sitting in front of a room full of people running that class, or you're talking on social, you have your feelers out. Is this person right? Because I have the attention. I know what that team looks like, what that team's energy is. And therefore, that's where we organically bring in that recruiting. But I'll pop that 4 hours and 2 minutes up in the group for everyone.
Yeah, good on you, Jackie. Yep, I love it. And I'll tell you one other thing you can do, Julie, is that the safe place to fall backwards into that will always create and yield results to you is fall backwards into inviting.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to do next, invite someone to something. Like, invite them to a coffee, invite them to anything. If you're inviting them to the business, invite them to the product. Inviting is really the cornerstone of your success you're going to experience in doTERRA. So everyone should be doing some inviting every single week, right? I mean, I even if I'm just inviting everyone to these calls, I jump on an hour before and just do a video and say, hey, this is what we're going to cover, guys. Look forward to seeing you. I'm inviting you to show up for yourself. right? I don't just go, none of this just happens, right? Like even these programs. We're running over. I want to quickly just share screen and share with you guys because it was asked during the chat during the week if I still have it open here now. Can I find it? The qualifications for graduation for Associate Diamond Club was one of the questions that we had raised. So I just want to kind of touch on this because we're coming to the pointy end and want to let everyone know what it is. So this is on the registration page. If you can't remember it, you will all have got this registration page way back in the beginning before you joined us in Associate Diamond Club. 3-month program designed to help you grow your confidence, skills, and team while being mentored and celebrated along the way. And what's included: a WhatsApp group and then a weekly training. Your monthly goal, 4 enrollments per month, must include 1 personal, 1 downline. So that will dictate whether or not you graduated. Did you get 4 enrollments each of the months? And did you get 1 personal minimum? And someone from your downline, did they get 1? So it might be a combination of you did 1 and they did 3. You did 3 and they did 1, but at least there's 4, and at least you did 1, and at least someone else did 1 in your team. Got the incentive oils, mystery bonus pack of oils for anyone who's achieved 3 brand new LRPs over the month. So we're going to need you to report back on that if you've done that. And we do have a spreadsheet that you guys can report on that no one's filling out. So we can't give you your prizes if no one gives us the data. So, and there's a bonus Clifton Strengths Finder code and mentoring strengths training for all graduates of the program as well, which is amazing. Adisha's just been up in Indonesia with Vanessa doing the strengths training for our team up there, and the reports are just off the scale about how it's impacting them. So graduation bonus, any participant who graduates, gets to 3 LRP conversions, completes the level 1 power of 3 pod, and is paid the level 1 power of 3 in November, that's $75. They'll get that payment doubled if you're in Vanessa and my or Adisha and Santoshi's downline during that time. So that's what the requirements for, just to recap that for you guys. And where's my share screen? Let's turn that off. Any questions about that at all?
Been very chatty tonight.
Yes, the chat has been going off. All right. So let's finish strong, guys. Let's keep coming to these. We want to keep filling up your mindset. So we're going to be working on that for the rest of the month. And yeah, we also have Sam, our VA, is creating an Associate Diamond Club feedback form for you guys to kind of fill out. For those of you who have liked this and found it helpful, the reason for the feedback form is for us to feed the feedback back to corporate to decide whether or not this is something that they see value in kind of including in the calendar, particularly for those early builders that are not yet at the stage where they can qualify to go to Diamond Club. So if you've had a good experience here, we'd love for you to take the time to do that. It's not going to be a complicated thing. It's going to be like a 3 or 4 question thing, really, really short and sweet. One other thing I want to touch on before we get off this call is Leadership 2026, February, Brisbane, last weekend of February. The qualification for that for this year is elite to be able to attend. It's going to change next year, so the year after, and be higher. So my suggestion is we need to get every single one of you, and you need to get all your people you possibly can to Leadership in February. It's going to be amazing. I've got a kind of I think it's going to be the best leadership we've had in years, is what I think. Jackie knows why, because we're working on some top secret stuff, some real Mission Impossible Tom Cruise stuff. So when you get there, you're going to be so glad you came. And for those of you who don't come and you hear about it, you're going to go, that was such a dumb decision to not be there. So there you go. That's clear as kind for you right there. I'm being really clear. You should be there.
Absolutely. You need to be elite to get there. You will not want to miss out on what's being shared and what you will be trained to do.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. It's going to really up level the speed at which you can achieve in this business, in my opinion. So yeah, we're going to come out of leadership in a really, really great space. Anyway, thank you for being on tonight, guys. Lots of love. Make sure you bring your teams to Same Call next week, and practice that intention. Write it down, read it silently, read it aloud, go inward, get still, focus, and do that as many times a day as you can. Now, the more times you do it per day, the faster you embed it in your default mode network and then activate the task positive network, which starts to make it actually happen and start to make it come into reality, right? So you get to do it slow or you get to do it fast. You get to speed it up. Depends how often you want to do the exercise, but it's literally a minute a day. Like, surely you can find 4 or 5 times a day where you can just do that, right? Like, do it when you go to the bathroom if you have to, like, whatever, but do it as often as you can. All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thanks, guys. See you later.